enough for you guys so that we can keep you up to speed. But let's start off, first of all, Luke, if that's all right, just have you share with everybody here your role, what you do here for corporate, and a little bit more about yourself.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks, Dave. Grateful, guys, first off, for the opportunity to talk with you. Dave does an amazing job helping you guys out and giving you all the information you need. And he thinks that I'm going to be able to make that better. I don't know. He does such a good job. I might just end up ruining it for him. But no, excuse me. I'm in charge of international expansion here at rNetwork, and it's a lot of fun. It really is. I really enjoy the international markets. I enjoy, getting to learn new cultures, and I really enjoy the challenge that comes with expanding into international markets, because it is very, very challenging. There's no two markets are the same, right? They all have their very distinct differences, their nuances, and sometimes that can be a little bit frustrating. But it's a challenge that not only myself enjoys, but Dave and all the rest of the guys here in the corporate office, we really do enjoy it. We enjoy and relish the opportunity to bring this amazing opportunity, this amazing comp plan to people everywhere in every country in the world. And even though we're not in every country in the world, the goal is to eventually give everybody the same chance and opportunity. So,
hey, Luke, everybody wants to see your smiling face.
Huh. Do that.
You have a camera?
There you go.
Hey, look at that guy. Man, he's good looking. Look at that. He's got a nice shaped head. Awesome.
Sorry about that. I just assumed it was on.
No, you're good. No worries. It's my bad.
Yep. All right. So, when discussing international expansion, we have a very, very specific, tailored approach in regards to market expansion. When considering a certain market or entertaining the notion of expanding into a new market, there are dozens of factors that we take into account. And, some of these factors may be indirectly, they may not directly affect you. When I say you, the charter members, and examples of those things could be tax implications, the political environment, scalability, infrastructure, right? Local currency volatility. But then we have, important factors that do directly affect our charter members, that affect all of you, and your ability to grow your team. And I'm sure you guys are well aware of these. And pay in, we have to give charter members or potential charter members in any given market adequate pay-in solutions. The ability to sign up and get joined with our network and get working. And then of course, on the flip side, perhaps even, or I should say just as important, right, is the ability for corporate to pay commissions to charter members. Those are two stable items that have to, foundational items that have to be in effect really before we can even begin to consider market expansion. Obviously, then, you have products. That's another thing that we consider.
And Luke, let me ask you a couple questions real quick, just to make this more of a conversation too for you. I know this is our first time, so I just want to make sure we give you every ounce of opportunity. So all these different, I'll call them verticals or reasons why we can't open a certain country. Could be whether it's pay in, pay out, commissions, or people buying, being able to sign up, obviously is a big part of it. And then obviously in addition to all that, we also need to have products or services available to them in those areas to make it really the best experience for the charter member and for that community. And so guys, we just want you to understand if we let's do it this way. Actually, let me ask you this first. This might actually make it easier for you to explain. But what type of growth, or what has to happen in order for us to open those countries, as far as growth or activity, or how do we do that? I'm not talking the ones that are necessarily not even open at all. I'm talking about the ones that are open, that we have partial open. What I mean by that is people can enroll there, but there might not be RPay there or solutions there. Talk about a little bit more about that. Like, what does that look like, as far as growth? What maybe share some examples of that type of thing that's caused us to be able to go say, hey, we're going to put some resources here to make this happen.
Sure. Yeah, definitely growth in a market is what will be the principal, trigger for, us here at corporate dedicating or directing resources to that market, whether it's developing an additional pay in or pay out solution, right? Or simply getting one in place to begin with, right? Yeah, wherever there's growth, that's definitely where the resources are going to be dedicated, without a doubt, and not just on solutions such as pay in and pay out, but also on the product side of things. It doesn't, number one, it doesn't make sense for us to begin product development in a market where we don't have any charter members, right? And on the flip side, remember our slogan, the bigger it gets, the better it gets. The more charter members we have in any given market, the higher the growth rate in any given market. That just makes it easier for us to go and develop those products and services in that local market.
Absolutely. And what you put together, you and Trent have put together for expansion is just incredible. Like the checklist, of everything that needs to be done, and just maybe you can share a little bit about that, just how that looks like as it's growing. Like it tells us when we're going to need product there, or it'll tell us when. I don't know how to speak to that language, so maybe you can share that a little bit.
Yeah, no, we have it's a super complicated as far as the formulas that we put into place on this massive spreadsheet. But to boil it all down, that spreadsheet exists to do a lot of things, but there are a few things in particular that it does for us. It allows us, based on the growth rate and the current charter member base in any given market, it allows us to to accurately predict when we need to have certain things in place in that market. Every market is different, like I said at the beginning, not just in terms of the solutions we have there, or maybe the products that we have available in that market, but some markets have very different registration requirements. Some markets have very strict requirements in regards to being an MLM, and then there's countries that literally have zero requirements on the registration side when dealing with MLMs, which that certainly makes things easier for us. But we just have to make sure that we're prepared to support the market, and that's why we created this fancy spreadsheet with all these formulas to help us predict those things, because we want to be able to support a market, whether it be from a product standpoint, whether it be from providing marketing materials in the native language of that market, if that's a requirement. So we take all those things into account, right? And so we consider them and other things as well, which I won't get into, but there's a lot of things we take into consideration when determining what markets we're going to expand into.
Awesome. Share with us a little bit whatever you can share. And I understand we have some guidelines that we're being guided by legal to not get into too much detail, but talk what you can about India a little bit, just from your perspective, as far as your communication with our gentleman over there that's handling things. Just maybe expand on a little bit there about India, whatever you can.
Yeah, we have an amazing team over in India. on the corporate side that's helping us out, and they're guiding us through the India is a market that no one here in the corporate office had previous experience with, not a single one of us. And so it was kind of an eye opener, right? For example, you all know we had to stop taking enrollments there for a while, or I should say taking money, because as an MLM, if you're not established there, then that's illegal. So, we kind of jumped into the market without even knowing what we were getting into. But luckily, we've been able to form some wonderful relationships with individuals in India who know what they're doing. And one of the things that they have instructed us to not do is continue to send out a lot of corporate communication regarding India. And I know that's maybe frustrating for a lot of you, but India is a market with such massive potential. We, as a corporate team, we don't think it's fair to put that potential in jeopardy, to risk that potential. And we're going to do everything that we need to protect that, the market, and because there's, excuse me, there's tons of interest in India right now, as I'm sure a lot of you know. I mean, they've been allowed to continue to sign up for free until we have completed our registration and legalization process, and the interest is absolutely massive. So we're going to protect that interest and protect the market there, and we are going to do everything 100%, by the book, to make sure that we are compliant in all facets of the Indian regulations. So do know that once we're able to, we're definitely going to let you guys know everything there is to know about India. So
awesome. And can you speak to, I know you've been in communication with them about the lockdown and stuff that's happening, and how that may be affecting some of this from happening, obviously. Can you speak to that a little bit at all?
Yeah, obviously the lockdown threw a wrench in our plans. India was affected, or is being affected by the coronavirus dramatically. And the prime minister put the country on lockdown for over a month. And when I say lockdown, I mean complete lockdown. So there were no businesses or government agencies or ministries operating for over a month. In fact, this is really the first week that that lockdown has begun to be lifted somewhat, which will enable a lot of our processes to resume here soon. But yeah, that's had a dramatic effect. But hopefully there's going to be some end to it soon.
Awesome. Somebody just asked a question. Is it possible to add, and because I'm not geographically, I don't know where everything is, but is it possible to add the French islands to the registration form? Tahiti, you probably see it there. Martinique, Reunion. I don't know. Is that again just it comes back to regulations there? I mean, products and all kinds of things that.
Yeah, first of all, and I could be remembering incorrectly, so if I misspeak, then I apologize. But I don't think we have pay in and pay out nailed down for that region. And until we do, like I said, it just doesn't make sense for us to allow enrollments in those countries.
Okay, perfect, no problem. And then any word on just internationally for Scandinavian market to be able to sign up merchants? That's with a local like merchant sign up, so don't worry about that. Basically what we're working on there is the ability for you guys to go out business to business. It's just not in place yet, but when it is, we'll definitely get it out to you for that. Just want to make sure I didn't miss part of the question. The other one was, I thought I saw here. Why don't you share with these guys what you shared with me the other day, a little bit about the the French team and just kind of what they're doing. I mean, just some of the stats you were sharing with me are like amazing, that these guys were having some pretty incredible success.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, definitely. And I'm glad you brought that up, Dave, because that was one of the things that I wanted to do on this call, and on every call we do from here on out, right? Is give some recognition to some of these leaders,
Yep.
In these international markets. You know, you have there's a Amelie in France, Julian in Ivory Coast, you know, Pierre in Sweden. I know you know some of them, Dave. You know, you guys are absolutely rocking, and we really do appreciate it. But looking at the numbers from last month, I mean, I look at all types of numbers pretty much all day, you know, from these markets. That's what I do. But I brought some names up that I just wanted to mention because there's some pretty cool stats. I mean, there's one individual who signed up, you know, not even, let's see here, not even 2 weeks ago, really, in Ivory Coast, and he's already hit founder status, and that was just awesome. So I might butcher this name, and I apologize, but I definitely want to give some recognition, a shout out to Nago Consta. Awesome work. I mean, it really is amazing. So thank you for what you're doing.
That's awesome.
You have another founder who signed up last month in Ivory Coast, Dodo Dede. Another founder who signed up last month in France, Mikhail. So shout out to you guys. I mean, and there's literally a long list of individuals who hit Power 3 or higher, that only signed up last week in some of these markets. And it's awesome. It really is. So just know that we see the work that you guys are doing, and you know there's work that we're doing behind the scenes on our side too, that will, you know, further help you guys and give you, you know, a better ability to build. And then, you know, also on the product side, we've got a lot of things that we're working on, and this year is definitely going to be a really cool year. So
that's awesome. I have to give kudos to those guys, because I mean, they're just building based on the fact that, you know, they see the potential of what we're doing, and they're excited about it. They're excited about the opportunity. I mean, in these paralyzing times, these are times where people feel like they have something to look forward to, and I love the fact that what we have, because it fits around the world. And we'll get there, guys. For those that are watching, that are in these, that want these other countries that aren't open, we'll get there. It's a timing thing, like Luke was mentioning earlier. Is there are checkoffs that need to happen in order for that to happen, and we have to look at where some of the growth is right now, where the activity is, as we can take our business and bring our volume up, and our enrollments, and all these things all have to happen. There's a lot of little things that have to happen in order for us to go into some of these other countries. The biggest thing we want to focus on is where we're active right now, where things are happening. We want to help those individuals, you know, develop a good solid base, and in the same response, let's give kudos to Dell, by the way. Dell Hilius, he oversees most of the France team there, so over there in the Ivory Coast. So that's pretty cool. Let's see here. Where was I going with that? I just saw a question here. You know, people are always asking about, you know, products. Obviously, you're not the product guy, but you work closely with Kevin and his team to putting together products for different areas. One of the questions people have is our mobile in Canada. Obviously, everybody wants our mobile. You know, everybody wants that. It was interesting. I actually had a conversation last night with somebody that I'm leading the company to, that might give us that opportunity outside into some other countries. I just met somebody yesterday that was quite an interesting conversation. So, but let's talk a little bit about. Just real quick, because I told Luke we're not going to do long calls. He's got a massive schedule of lots of stuff going on. So let's address just real quick, maybe just countries that are open right now, that have the ability to grow. The next stage is of finding out about the product. Talk about a little bit about that. What does that growth need to get to, or your program, it tells you kind of when that is. So is there a certain allotment of charter members that have to be there in order for a new product to get launched there? Or how does that work, Luke? Let's just recover that one more time because people have questions about that.
No, there's not necessarily a specific number for product requirement. You know, either way, I know that Kevin's working on finding those products in a lot of these markets, regardless of the quantity of charter members in any specific market, right? I mean, we want to have products, as many products available in as many markets as possible, as soon as possible. You know, someone mentioned R Mobile, or you mentioned R Mobile, Dave.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's something that if we can provide in other markets, fantastic. Yeah. And I know that Kevin's working on stuff like that. So, yeah,
well,
we want to get the products
on that too. The global mall, right? So he's working at trying to find additional stores that can go there. Sorry. Go
exactly.
ahead.
No, I was going to say we want to get products to everyone as soon as possible, for sure.
Let's see here. I just want to make sure this has been recorded, you guys, just for you guys to know. I mean, I know some of you, it's really late at night where you're at, so the recording will be available and to share with you and your team. So for sure. Okay, so let's see. Any timeline on pay in using debit cards for countries like Nigeria or Philippines? Any timelines for that possibly? Right?
No timeline. No timeline, but obviously those are two markets that we're working on. So
yeah, I know you're working tirelessly about it, you guys, even though we've been stuck in our homes until recently. Luke and I kind of started sporadically showing up at the office, but Luke probably more so than me. but I will say that they're working hours and hours of time trying to put together things for these different countries, you guys. So just be patient. It'll happen. It's just a matter of time. Recommendations, could we begin to recommend local market? No, can't do that yet. Like I mentioned earlier, Roxanne, it's just local market merchants. We don't have that system yet, that ability to do so. But stay tuned. We're working on some cool things with that that hopefully we can do here shortly. So are we in Kenya yet?
Kenya's open for enrollments, yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. All right. Let's see. Anything else? Okay. Are there certain metrics to take a country from soft launch to pre-launch? You already kind of covered that. There are different metrics that we go by in order to launch a country. So that have to be in place. You can go back and watch it if you've kind of missed that, Sharon. Is it a matter of days, weeks, months to start with India? Obviously, it's the lockdown's not helping us. So
yeah, difficult to predict because of everything that's happening with coronavirus.
Okay. So hopefully you guys understood that. It's we can't predict an opening time for the country. It's all governed by their own country, whether or not they're going to open up for us to finalize our registration process, right? So is that exactly the terminology I should use?
Yeah, for sure. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, and in regards to India, trust me when I say that we are dedicating a massive amount of time and resources to that market.
Yeah.
We simply just can't speak much about it just yet. But once we can, we will share all the plans, and you guys are going to love it. It's going to be one of our strongest markets, and we're really excited about everything that's happened so far in India and everything that will be happening in India. So hang tight.
Awesome. Well, Luke, appreciate you big time for getting on. And guys, we wanted to do this because I felt like, I don't know, I was talking with Luke and I just felt like it's important for us to be as transparent as possible with you guys about our growth of the company. I wanted you to understand from Luke what he does, how he's working for you in the field on making sure that we can open these countries, correctly. So we're business long term. Remember, this is a legacy company. This is something we don't want this to just go away because we make some mistakes. So it's a lot of pressure to be under for Luke, because he's over all of that. That's his territory. He makes sure that we are going to be legal wherever we go, and it's all done the right way, so that we're not doing things the wrong way. And so I wanted to throw this kind of call together, and we might do it every week. Maybe might have a week we don't, but we'll let you know. But we're just trying to keep you up to speed as to what's going on, let you ask some questions. Some questions, you guys, there's not answers to them, so we just won't answer them. Or we'll just let you know later, right, as things are coming. Yes, the bank is coming this year. So we'll just end it with that. We keep saying that, so I know, just hang tight. Okay, so absolutely, yeah. So anyway, I just want to thank Luke for getting on here. Luke, you want to part with anything? Do you have any final thoughts you want to share with these guys before we end?
Nothing too specific. Just really want to say thanks to everybody. I think I speak for the rest of the guys here in the office when I say even though it may not appear like it sometimes, we fully recognize everything that you guys are doing in the field. We really do. And not only do we recognize it, but we truly appreciate it. We know that without you and all your efforts and everything that you're doing, none of this is possible. Absolutely none of this. You are the most important piece of the concept and the vision of our network. And I know we haven't shown, that appreciation maybe up until this point as good as we could have. But you're going to start seeing a lot of changes coming here. And hopefully we'll be able to live up to our end of the bargain. And I say hopefully we will be able to. So just thanks so much for everything that you're doing. And we're so excited about everything that's happening and everything that's going to be happening here in the next few months. And this opportunity is just going to get better and better for everybody in the entire world. So thank you.
Well, thanks, Luke. We appreciate you big time and all the work you're putting into it. Guys, we appreciate you guys in the field. I'm going to just ditto that. And thank you for all that you're believing in the vision, believing in us, and knowing that we're going to be able to take this around the world. You guys make this a legacy company for you and your family and your loved ones. So thanks, you guys. Until next time, we appreciate you. So thanks, Luke, for getting on again. And we'll be talking to you guys.